All right, everybody, we are back. Thank you so much for all of the requests. I got a bunch of text messages, I got some DMs, I got some comments, and so you guys got a lot of good suggestions. As simple as that. And what we're going to do is we're going to start with, I'm going to call this classic AD. This is going to be more of a classic AD. Remember back in the day when I used to talk a lot about, Big Eva and all the different crime families of Big Eva, and we just used to dunk on them all the time and have a great time doing it. That's what we used to do. And so today, we're going to talk about Gavin Ortlund. All right. Yeah, there's, this is where we're going to start. And then there's a one suggestion that came that's more about, good old white pilling AD. So we're going to distribute some white pills as well. And then after that, there's one that's going to be a little bit more of the, I don't know, the woke right AD, new right, whatever you want to call it, the AD that's getting in trouble with, the leadership of the Reformed movement, guys like James White and people like that. Sometimes they don't like what AD has to say, and it's just that's okay. I still got love for them, so we're gonna get a little bit of everything with the recommendations and the requests that have come in. But we're gonna start with classic AD. Now here's Gavin Ortlund. Gavin Ortlund, and I gotta say, just off the top of my head, this guy. He's not my kind of guy. That's for sure. Not my kind of guy at all. I haven't really talked too much about Gavin Ortlund. I've talked about his father before, who is also just not good. But yeah, this is a true YouTuber, man. This guy follows all of the step-by-step guides to growing a YouTube channel. A true example of what is possible on the YouTube platform. He does it all. He's got the stupid faces on his thumbnails. That's, if you notice, a lot of like the most popular YouTubers, they always have the stupid faces that they put on the YouTuber. They got the surprise face, like, and then you got the thoughtful face, like, and then you've got the like, I'm not that impressed face, and then you've got the really surprised face, like, he's got it all. He's put the faces and he's got the thing. This is all part of the YouTube manual. I've seen the YouTube manual. I just choose not to follow it because despite what you might think about the gayness of being a social media influencer, which I suppose to some degree I do embrace that a little bit, I'm not going to go all the way gay. It's as simple as that. So that you're never going to get that kind of thing from me. But in any case, Gavin Ortlund, yeah, he's just not good. He's not good. This is Big Eva, I don't know, 3.0, 4.0, whatever it is. It's just repackaged into the thing that the millennials and the Zoomers are gonna like. That's basically what Gavin Ortlund is. Gavin Ortlund is Ray Ortlund. It's just he's repackaged himself to be able to actually perform on YouTube, which he definitely does. I mean, there's no question about it. He's performing on YouTube. He's got 106,000 subscribers. Dang, he's doing pretty good. And then his videos, they get, 20,000, 40,000 views, 50,000. I mean, he's pretty consistently. This guy's killing it on YouTube. Whereas Gospel Coalition, like the old guard Big Eva, they can't perform on YouTube. They're horrendous. It's just absolutely awful. John Harris can do a video right now with his stupid phone in his car just talking about whatever he wants, and he'll get more views than the typical Gospel Coalition video. So Gavin Ortlund, don't get it twisted. This guy is Big Eva through and through. But he's repackaged to see if they could try again to get everyone to be as liberal as possible. So that's Gavin Ortlund. That's what he's about. And he's got a new way to be third way. You see, he's not left or right. He's a third way. And he's going to show you all about how it's not really that bad to be a third way. In fact, Christian, you must be third way. That's what he has to say. So let's watch it. Let's watch his video. It's 20 minutes, so I don't know. This will be a couple parts maybe. And, we'll just do some classic AD, and I'll tell you all about why I don't like Gavin Ortlund. Here we go.
Like many others, I was very disturbed watching President Trump's recent sharing on social media of a video about Trump Gaza. I'm not going to show it here. I'll show you a portion of it where you can see some of the golden Trump statues. I don't even know where to begin in terms of expressing my concerns with this.
Oh, yeah. See, he doesn't know where to begin. I'm very concerned and troubled. You see, it's all the same stuff. It's all the same piece of doo-doo, and it's just been repackaged, and it's supposed to be attractive to the millennials and the Zoomers. That's what this is. This is the same stuff you get from Russell Moore, but this time it's Gavin Ortlund. It's Gavin. This guy is the new hotness. And he's very troubled, and he's very concerned, and all of the same stupid things that everybody says. And, he's just like a lot of other people. He's very concerned with the Trump-Gaza stuff. Yeah, okay.
One of the problems is people, a lot of times it feels like, with all due respect, people just minimize things. And so evil gets normalized because people say, well, he's just trolling people and this kind of thing. Even if that were true, it comes in the context of his actions and his words. Oh, yeah. For example, about taking over that region. Yeah. Which, as Ed Fazer...
Ooh, that's even more troubling, He's going to take over the region. Man, listen, if you're not troubled, I don't even know if you're a Christian, to be perfectly honest with you. If you're not troubled and concerned and worried and all the rest of those stupid words that they always use, then I don't know if you're even a Christian, you can't just say he's trolling. No, this is troubling. This is deeply disturbing. I mean, he's Nebuchadnezzar, obviously. And if you don't see that he's Nebuchadnezzar, then you're just as good as the people that bowed to the Nebuchadnezzar statue, obviously. This is obvious.
It's an immoral prospect for multiple reasons. So It's not just the video. So, after I watched that this afternoon, I was talking with my wife, and I'm just wrestling with this question of what does it look like to be a faithful Christian right now?
He's just wrestling with it. That's the thing. You just got to wrestle with this stuff, and, you grapple with it a little bit, and you struggle. That's the big evil word. I'm struggling with this and wrestling with that. And it's like, there's never any resolution, right? There's never any resolution. Look, I'm not wrestling with things, and if I am wrestling, I've got a resolution in mind, and my intention is to completely dominate and win. That's what my intention is. And so he's wrestling with his wife, what does it even mean to be, what does it look like to be a Christian in America today? What does that mean? It's all this it's all this like lame, like it's always hyper nuanced. It's always you're always hedging every single thing you say. You always hedge. You must hedge. And if you don't hedge, then that's the sign that maybe you've fallen into the wrong ditch, or maybe both ditches are wrong. Who knows? That's one of the things I hate. I hate this about every Big Eva study that I've ever been a part of, every Big Eva book that I've ever read. It's always just like this constant. There's never any resolution. It's just, let's get together and talk about our feelings as men and our struggles and our concerns and everything like that. And there's no victory to it. There's never any, I don't know. It's just, I hate that. I hate that with a burning passion.
I'll just kind of put my cards on the table in this whole video. I'm not a liberal person, though sometimes people accuse me of that. I'm pretty conservative.
No, you're not.
I don't think that's the answer. But I'm seeing real problems on the right now.
Oh, what a surprise! What a surprise! I don't even know. So I started this by saying he's like repackaged, and but to be honest, I don't even know if he's really that repackaged. I mean, this is all the same. Real problem. I'm a stalwart conservative. You remember during the Summer of Love, it's like I'm a stalwart conservative, and I understand all the abuses of the word racism and all this stuff, but this time I cannot abide the racism in our country, and all the whole thing, and it's just the worst. It's absolutely the worst.
Sort of exacerbated it is
but we're a minute into this, and I can't even get through it.
We discovered that Andrew Tate and his brother arrived in the United States. If you don't know Andrew Tate, he's a social media influencer who's currently facing charges in Romania, including rape and human trafficking, sex with a minor, trafficking of minors. And if you could describe him as the kind of person who is predatory and yet boastful about being predatory, that'll give you a flavor of who he is, if put it like that. And frighteningly, he has massive influence on social media. So
it's very frightening.
Now it's unclear exactly why he's here.
That's the thing about Big Eva. They're always frightened. It's either they're frightened or they're concerned or they're troubled. They spend life in a perpetual state of fear and being troubled and being concerned. It's all concern all the time. That's the mood of Big Eva. It's just constant fear. Like, I don't spend any time worrying about, Andrew Tate's influence on people. I just don't spend time worrying about it. I'm not worried about it. He doesn't have any influence on me and my house. And I'll tell you what, he doesn't have any influence amongst my friends either. It's as simple as that. We joke about Andrew Tate. We laugh about Andrew Tate. We talk about how Andrew Tate is, he's a little bit gay. I mean, to be perfectly honest with you. And it's like, that's what we talk about, right? But yeah, okay, he has some influence and you want to counter that and stuff like that. So how about instead of being worried and concerned and fearful about it, why not just counter it? Why not just put out an alternative? Why not just beat him at his own stupid game? I don't know. I mean, it's just like this perpetual state of fear. It's a trademark of guys like Gavin. It's just weird. I can't even imagine being around someone where they're just constantly concerned. They're grappling and wrestling with their wife about, man, have you heard of Andrew Tate? I'm really worried about this. Like, what does it even mean to be a Christian? I just don't understand. I don't get it.
So I'm filming this the day of, the evening of. I've been thinking about this throughout the night, putting my kids to bed, thinking about this. I want to share my thoughts here.
Dang,
but
it's just like
he did tweet earlier this month.
You can't even put your kid to bed without thinking about Andrew Tate.
That's kind of ominous.
When I'm putting my kids to bed, I'm thinking about, like, my kids, and we're talking and we do our prayers and every night we talk about things that make us happy, that we're grateful for every single night. Like, I'm not. Can you imagine putting your kids to bed and what's really on your mind is the influence of Andrew Tate? Oh, man.
One article notes that the Romanian foreign minister said a Trump administration official expressed interest in the Tate's case, but insisted that no pressure was applied to lift restrictions on them leaving Romania. So we don't know exactly what's gone on that causes them to be here, but time will tell. And it looks weird. And it's just, the reality is Andrew Tate has been platformed by some very influential conservative commentators. And it's disturbing how much influence he has. And so all of this raises a question that I've been wrestling with a great deal. And I think we all need to wrestle with is those of you who are following my channel, who are followers of Christ, what does it look like to be a Christian right now? Because we are in a very unstable and rapidly polarizing world. And there are real evils on both the right and the left.
Ooh.
And our modern world is increasingly pressuring us into one of those two directions. The trajectories are powerful. They're powerful currents. And social media accelerates it. And the reality is faithfulness to Jesus requires us to resist things on both sides. And what I find very challenging about talking about this is that, especially for us in the United States, if we express concerns about problems on the right, people accuse us of being a leftist. If you criticize the Republicans, you must be a Democrat. If you criticize President Trump, you must be for Kamala Harris. This kind of thing.
All right. Okay. That's where the third wayism comes. There's a third way, There's a still greater way. Oh, man. This is funny because, of course, he's right to a degree. I mean, obviously there's going to be someone online or maybe in your real life that, is going to say to you, you criticize Trump about something. They're going to say, well, what are you, leftist? Of course, there's always people like that. There's, a small number of people like that. But I got to say, this is the, it's sort of related to the thing, well, people on the right and the left are insulting me, so I must be right. No, that doesn't mean anything. That doesn't mean anything. You're probably wrong. You're probably wrong because oftentimes one side is right over the other, and that side is very often the right. But here's the thing. I've criticized people on the right before many, many times, and I've never, I mean, I can't say never. I mean, not never, but rarely am I accused of being on the left. Very rarely. And you know why? When I criticize someone on the right, I'm not accused of being a liberal because I'm obviously not one. I'm criticizing the right from the right of them. I'm criticizing the right from their right. That's why I'm not accused of being a liberal. But the difference between me and Gavin is that Gavin will criticize the right from the left. And so maybe you're not as far left as Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Granted, Gavin, congratulations. You're not as liberal as Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Hats off to you, buddy. But the reason why you get called a liberal is because you are definitely to the left of the right on many, 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 many issues. Your whole perspective. Dare I say worldview. Well, all kinds of controversy about the word worldview, but you know what I mean. Your perspective is from the liberal perspective. That's why you get called the liberal. It's not because there's no errors on the right. It's because of how you choose to engage the right. It's about where you're standing. And so that's why I don't get accused of being a liberal when I criticize the right, because I'm not standing to their left. You are. It's pretty basic. It's pretty basic, Gavin. That's, I don't know how to make it more simple than that. Let's see what wisdom he has for us.
Even though it's not true. I don't support the Democrats. I don't support Kamala Harris. I just have concerns about Donald Trump. And this is the challenge, that in
what a shock.
The sort of increasing binaries of the world, the right versus the left, if you criticize one side, then you're often perceived to be joining the other. And the problem is, following Jesus doesn't fit neatly into these categories that the world has given us. And Christians need to be able to call sin, sin. And that's going to mean we're swimming against...
Like, for example, just picking this one out of thin air, but like, for example, your father's support of Kamala Harris, that is sinful, right? And so I, from the right, am going to call that sinful. But I could simultaneously, and this is the thing, we can walk and chew gum at the same time, right? We can walk and chew gum at the same time. So I can simultaneously look at some of those on the right that, they're not like, they don't want to like let you trans the kids, but they believe that the trannies, the adult trannies, that's, you can't control what adults do. You know what I mean? And, we want, we're gays for Republicans or gays for Republican. I don't know what they're even called, but, the gay people that vote Republican. Like, I can simultaneously say from their right, no, no adult trannies either, and also, no gays on the right. That's not a right wing position. Being gay is not a right wing thing. You can't. We don't want that. We don't want that. I could say that simultaneously, and at the same time, no one's going to accuse me of being liberal because I'm saying those things, because I'm saying it definitively from their right. I can call that sin. At the same time, I can call what your father's up to sin. And nobody accuses me of anything like that. So this is the thing. It's like it's a very weaselly little perspective he's set up here. And again, it's very analogous to, I'm right because I'm getting criticized by the Republicans and the Democrats, so I'm right. Who's that guy that does it all the time? It was Joel McDermott's little toady. What was his name? Reasoner. John Reasoner. He used to wear that as a badge of honor. Nobody on the right likes me either. That's how I'm walking the still more beautiful way.
It's the current in multiple directions, and we're fighting on multiple fronts, and so on and so forth. That's what I believe. And so I want to talk about that. This video will be fairly simple. It's not going to be a long theological video. More simple, brief, pastoral. The goal is mainly just to start conversations. I'm going to have a practical challenge. It's just going to be about starting a conversation.
Excellent. That's what I'm doing too.
That's one of the things I'm trying
getting that conversation going.
Want to talk with people about this stuff. But I want to talk about being a third way Christian.
I got to say, I'm going to give him a little bit of credit here, because though he does have the books in the background, it's not like the typical Reformed person who's just got walls of leather-bound books and stuff like that. He's just got a couple, and they're not, maybe these are leather-bound, but these aren't. You gotta give him some credit here. I'm going to give you some credit, Gavin. Your set is not standard Reformed Christian issue.
What does it mean to be, what is third wayism? You may have heard this term. And this language is very controversial. You will hear a lot of concerns about this. Frankly, some of them are valid, and we want to try to receive the ones that are valid.
Lean into
Third
them.
wayism is
might as well
often
lean into
perceived to be wishy-washy and aloof, and it fails to take a stand. It's overly nuanced. It's elitist. Probably the biggest criticism is moral equivalency. The idea is third wayism implies that the problems are equally bad on each side. So let's wrestle with those concerns a little bit. By the way, the goal in all this video is not to condemn, shame anyone, point a finger. If you watch my channel at all, you know my approach is when there's good faith people, we want to talk through our disagreements with an open heart. But the goal is just to wrestle with, amidst the swirling forces of evil around us, what does it look like to be a faithful Christian right now?
Here's my goal. Here's my goal. I don't mind having a conversation. And, you know, many people who disagree with me over the years have given me a phone call, and we've had great conversations and all of that kind of stuff. I'm a very friendly guy. But my goal is not to have a good faith wrestling match. You know, we're going to go do some wrestling. That's not really my goal. My goal is complete and utter domination. Absolute obliteration of the ideas on the other side. That's what I want. I want to win. I don't want to wrestle forever. I want to win. That's what I want. And so, you know, obviously that doesn't, say we can't have conversations and stuff like that. But I'm not going to just, be wishy-washy, as you said before, and all of that kind of thing. But yeah, he mentioned some critiques of third wayism, and I'm sure that those are legitimate critiques of third wayism. Here's my critique. Third wayism is simply just liberalism. That's it. It's being liberal, but wanting to keep your conservative bona fides. That's how it always works out. It's not ever a third way that's even more on the right than the Republicans are. That's never how it works out, because those people they'll criticize both sides, but they do it firmly from this perspective. And we don't care that, that you see us as not on the right. We know we're on the right. We're admitting it. We know we're on the right. And so we don't care that you say, oh, you're just a right-wing pundit. We're like, yeah, that's right. So we never have the temptation to be like, oh, we're third way. It's a third way, the Christian way. Like, that's not really what we're saying. We're saying, no, Christianity is right-wing, and it's more right-wing than the right wing in the United States. That's what we're saying. And we admit it, and we're open about it. We're honest. But the way third wayism works, and it doesn't look like he's offering anything new here. He's putting this forward like it's like this new way to be third way. No, it's not. It's not. This is the standard way it works out. You're on the left. You're not as far left as Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. You're not as far left as Ilhan Omar, but you're on the left. But you don't want to admit it. You don't want to admit that you're on the left. And so, when you have your concerns about Andrew Tate and, Donald Trump and all this kind of stuff, you're always doing it from the perspective of the left. You borrow all their language, you borrow all of their perspectives, and to be perfectly honest, you borrow a significant chunk of their worldview. And that's how you do your attacks. But you don't want to admit that, so you say, I'm a stalwart conservative. I don't support Kamala Harris. All my friends do, but I definitely don't. Yeah, sure, I may be registered as a Democrat, but that's only for the primary. That's what Tim Keller used to say. It's only for the primaries in New York. I got to have an influence and all this kind of stuff. It's just pathetic. Like, just be honest. Just be honest. You're on the left-wing spectrum. We all see what you're doing. Just be honest. It's as simple as that. We're going to stop. That's been 20 minutes, a little more than 20 minutes. We got about a quarter of the way through, so if we keep going like this is going to take 4 episodes, but that's okay, because that's how I do it. In any case, hope you found this video helpful and entertaining. Classic AD here saying, God bless.